Hello everyone, and welcome to the lecture on the built-in function enumerate. So we'll learn about enumerate, and we'll learn how to use it. So it's an extremely useful function, and you'll find yourself, I believe, using it all the time after this. And what it basically does, it allows you to keep a count as you iterate through an object. And it does this by the form, it returns a tuple, which has the count and then the element. So you could actually build out your own enumerate function with this definition here, but I think it's best learned just through examples. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. First, what we're going to do is make a list. I'm just going to say a list L equal to, let's say, A, B, C. And you'll see in a second why I'm passing letters instead of just regular numbers. So I'm going to say for item in L, print item. Okay, so this is nice, but let's say I wanted to also print out the index of this item, or I wanted to keep track of how many items I had gone through. I could do something like this. I could say count equals 0, and then say for item in L, print item. Then let's say I could have said print count, and then count, add 1 to it. So what does that look like? So now I'm printing the count. So right now I start at 0, I print the item out, I add 1 to my count, and then I start over again. 1 is the count, B, 2, C. All right, so right now that's how you've probably usually been keeping track when you're iterating through items. But it's actually not necessary because it's such a tool, well, it's a task you want to do so often that Python actually has a built-in method, and it's called enumerate. So what enumerate does is it returns back a tuple. So I'm going to say enumerate L. And it returns a tuple in the form count item. So I've discussed before in tuple unpacking that you actually don't need these parentheses, but hopefully it just makes things a little more clear. And then I'm going to say print count. And you notice that's the exact same thing as we did before. So what it does is it basically just allows you to keep track of the count, or it enumerates your iterable as you go through it. Okay, so like I said, enumerate becomes particularly useful when you have a case where you need to have some sort of tracker. So for example, let's go ahead and make a new for loop that says for count item in enumerate of that list. Let's say if count is greater than 2, so I've gone through it 3 times, and let's go ahead and, or let's say, yeah, greater than or equal to 2. Let's go ahead and break that for loop. If not, I'm going to say print item. So I went ahead and ran it, and I only get A and B. So what's going on here? So using enumerate, I was able to keep track using that count. Because with this if loop, if the count was either greater than or equal to 2, it went ahead and broke the loop. So it didn't actually print out C. Okay, great. So hopefully you have a good understanding of what enumerate's actually doing. It's quite simple, and I think you get the best view of what's actually going on through this example right here. So you just say for the count, comma, item, and enumerate of whatever your iterable is, and then you can use the count and use the item through tuple unpacking. A lot of times you'll see it used with an I if you're reading someone else's code. Whoops. Let's go ahead and change the count here to be I. So a lot of times people tend to use this notation I, or sometimes even N. Go ahead and use whatever notation works best for you, but just keep in mind that if you're reading someone else's code and they've used enumerate a lot, they'll probably use I as the count. And the most important thing to keep in mind for enumerate is that your count comes first, comma, and then it's your element in that iterable. Okay, that's really all there is to it for enumerate. Go ahead and explore it, make sure you understand it. But remember, it's just returning a tuple that looks like this. That's all enumerate's doing. Okay, so great. I will see you at the next lecture where we'll discuss another built-in function in Python. Thanks, everyone.